Hello viewers and welcome to Let's Talk About. Let's Talk About is a Trinity United Church production where we talk about all social issues that affect us as Christians. You are welcome to today's edition. These days it seems everyone and their uncle are entrepreneurs. And how does one get started? We talked about all the formal rigors last week at Let's Talk About, but there was so much left unsaid. How do you determine what makes a good business idea? Do you need formal training? Do you have what it takes? These are some of the questions we'll be addressing this evening. So joining me is Mr. Felix Darko and Mr. Kojo Nunu, who are both entrepreneurs and members of Trinity United Church. Mr. Felix Darko is the CEO of Electro Darko House and agent for Philips Lightning and Legrand range of product. Mr. Kojo Nunu, on the other hand, is the CEO of GKV Foods, producers of Ava coconut oil, other coconut products, and cashew. Remember, we are streaming live on social media platforms, both YouTube and Facebook on Trinity United Church Legon. And we would love to hear your comments, your questions, and do well to send us WhatsApp on 0501 579 996. Let's just go into our topic for today. Gentlemen, you are welcome to Let's Talk About.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so last week we were here talking about all the formalities that has to do with establishing a business in Ghana. Today we are fortunate enough to have two businessmen or entrepreneurs, if I'm allowed to use that, who have lived the journey. And so today we want you to share your tales with us. So I will start with you, Mr. Darko. Do you consider yourself an entrepreneur? And what actually made you come to the realization that, hello world, I am an entrepreneur, or can respond to that kind of title?
Well, that's a difficult question to answer. I would say that I'm not there yet.
Okay.
And why am I not there yet? The vision we have for Electro Darko House, we haven't realized it yet. Okay. And for us, until we get to that point where we've achieved our vision, then I can say that I'm an entrepreneur. But of course, I'm self-employed, which qualifies as an entrepreneur in some respects. Having been or being self-employed, I also have employees with me. Of course, the business we run is a profit-making business. But I mean, I also reckon that there are some people running other businesses which are non-profit. Yes, and they all come in as entrepreneurs in that sense. But I mean, just to go back to the point I made earlier, that for us, when the goals of the business have been realized, then I can sit back and say, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. But for now, it's work in progress.
Okay. Mr. Nunu, what about you? Do you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
It's interesting where my brother started off. So it's now making me ask myself, am I an entrepreneur?
I know, right?
Well, okay, so I would say that yes, I'm an entrepreneur because it's like I thought of something. Okay. And maybe we can take the question from another angle by asking who is an entrepreneur. I mean, so I would say that yes, an entrepreneur is somebody who identifies a unique opportunity that is solving a problem. I mean, a societal problem, and then putting together the necessary resources to deliver that value, which at the end of the day, people are prepared to pay for it. That is, give money for it. So that is an entrepreneur, putting together the resources, identifying a problem. That's the first thing, actually, as in society, and then saying that, look, I can fix this problem for the people. And for that effort, they are prepared to pay me for it. That is an entrepreneur.
I really love your definition. So for anyone who is watching, I like the fact that you mentioned very key points.
Right.
So you don't wake up and just say you're an entrepreneur. You don't just wake up and start something. You should have identified a problem.
Yeah.
And then you should have found a solution to the problem. And not just any solution, a solution that will earn you some income.
That's it.
So that's a perfect definition.
Yes, so the other key word over there is value.
Good.
What would you call value? I can make coconut oil in my kitchen.
Okay.
But with all the inconveniences and whatnot and then the struggle I'll go through, at the end of the day, it might be more expensive than me going to Malcolm to buy it.
Okay.
So if I'm able to provide that service or that product to that person at a lower price, and he sees that, oh, it's better for me to go to Malcolm to buy it than make it at home. Then I would have delivered value.
Great.
And
Great.
the person is prepared to pay that extra for me, which is what brings me profit.
Very good. So I like how he enters. You have indirectly told us why Ava coconut oil, for example. So I want to know, looking at finding a problem, one, and trying to find a solution to it. So in your case, as an entrepreneur or aspiring to be an entrepreneur, what would you say was the kick? What made you go into this journey?
It's something that I've always harbored,
Okay.
to be a self-employed person. When I left the university, I actually started a business, straight from university. Before service began, went into a couple of things, horticulture, so we're doing gardening for people, added a bit of construction, so block making, delivering sand, delivering stones. It didn't work out. So I went into formal employment and stayed in formal employment for many years. Now with what I do, I was an employee for Philips. Okay. Worked with Philips for 5 years plus. Okay. And throughout that, I identified a gap in the market. And what was this gap? That people needed more than just the purchasing lights. Okay. People needed a bit more of a service. And unfortunately, the market was not offering lighting as a service. So we saw that as a need. And thankfully for us, we also had a good understanding of the lighting business. So yes, we've identified a need, and we could put that need in the context that yes, this is the size of the lighting market. So if we can meet this need, how does it translate into what is a monetary value for us? Okay, so with that information, we could tell that no, there's a big opportunity in this business, and that motivated us to start this business. So yes, by virtue of the fact that I was in the industry, identified an opportunity in that industry, we're able to size that opportunity, and the potential of that opportunity was attractive enough for us to start this business. For which yes, now we are in that business. And let me also stress that oftentimes as we see an opportunity, it may be a need, a personal need, and you think that, oh, okay, I have a personal need, and this is an opportunity. But are we able to scale that opportunity? Are we able to quantify that opportunity to, convince ourselves that, yes, this opportunity actually makes sense for you to make an investment? And I think that is where oftentimes we fall short. We see it that, oh, there's an opportunity, I can make money out of this opportunity. I venture into it only to realize that, oh, it wasn't as attractive as I imagined. Yes. So it's a point that I want to stress. That is key that you actually size that opportunity, so that the investment that is coming in, the investment is in line with the size of the opportunity. Then yes, you can make progress.
Very well said, Mr. Nunu. So I want to believe you also have worked as an employee in the formal sector before.
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to tell us what gave you the final push. Why did you decide that, you know what, it's done? I've done this number of years. It's time for me to stand on my own and start this entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, so normally I think entrepreneurship, there's an element of it's like a bit of you are born with it, because at any point in time there's a calling.
Okay.
It keeps coming and going, and it gets to a point that yes, you really just have to take the step. I'm saying this because personally, I've talked to a number of people. I've mentored people, businesses people, even whilst I was working in full-time employment. I have volunteered to, even with the Princess Trust in the UK, to support young entrepreneurs and all of that. And I've always told myself that, yes, some of us, we need to be pushed out of our comfort zones.
That's true.
To be able to realize our dreams. And then I've also, at a point, told myself that, look, if I don't do my own business and I die, God will really
Will
send me
question
back
you.
and say, hey, my friend, come back and come and finish what you should have done. Kind of saying
Yeah.
is what I've been, and all of this, I still did not have in mind starting my own business, though I used to say these things. And at one point, I remember myself and then my wife, both of us were in full-time employment. And I thought that, both of us were all well-to-do to handle. I mean, one person was
Yeah, have a stable income.
exactly enough economic unit for us to, even run. So on the back of it, I discussed with her that, look, one of us has to take the plunge. So we set up the business. We just set up a company, a shell,
Okay.
whilst we thought about what to do.
Okay.
So the company, GKV Investments, the actual name is GKV Investments. It was just to realize our investment opportunities.
Okay.
So it was a vehicle that we had set up on the side that if the opportunity came, we will go for
Okay.
it. And what actually pushed me was my sickness.
Oh.
And for me, that's my story. I was diagnosed with diabetes. And it's like a friend introduced me to coconut oil, that it will help stabilize my sugars. So on the back of it, I took it and I realized that 2-3 months, I realized that yes, my sugars were really
wow.
stable. So I decided to research a bit more. One thing led to the other. And I even went to India and all of that as part of the research. I think that is what he was talking about, quantifying
Yeah.
or making sure that, yes, really the opportunity is what it is. So having satisfied myself that this is an opportunity, then I said, hey, I think this is about time we consider something like that. But even before that, the first thing that I thought about at the time was, if coconut oil is this good, I must tell my younger people who are coming after me that, look, watch what you eat. Be very, very mindful of the food that you eat, because that has an impact on your productivity. Because at the time that I was struck with diabetes, I was relatively young. And here I was, a young man, working with the Bank of Ghana and whatnot, and then you are struck with diabetes. So I thought that, yes, let me just set up a blog and tell young people about eating healthy.
Okay.
And if you have to eat fat, use coconut oil. That was the idea. But then what happened? I looked around and I realized that most of the coconut oil around was really poorly packaged and the quality too was suspect. So I said, if I went to tell these young people that they should go and eat coconut oil, none of them is going to mind me. So then, then the idea came that, hey, come on, this is an opportunity. Can you package it for them? Can you give them the right quality and then package it for them so that they'll be attracted to it?
Okay.
Then they will use it, and as they use it, they'll be healthy as part of their diet.
Very good.
So that is what pushed
Very
me
good.
into coconut oil business.
Yes. So I see from both stories a lot of research being done. So you don't just wake up one day, have a business idea and say,
No.
I just want to do it. And
No,
you use your youthful exuberance to just start a
it
business.
doesn't work like that.
So speaking of research, beyond that, did any of you actually go to school to become an entrepreneur? There are so many courses nowadays. And so maybe somebody listening to us will say, I remember you mentioning a natural flair or something that you are probably born with. I think people have when we're growing up, your parents probably sold something and so you're asked to help them sell and all that. That could be the start of a journey. But we have people who did not have that opportunity. And so they feel entrepreneurship is probably cut out for some people, okay? So let's assume that you don't have that natural flair. Can you actually go to school to become an entrepreneur?
That's a very good question. And I want to situate it in, let's say, any other profession.
Good.
If you take, let's say, a teacher.
Okay.
You just don't wake up and become a teacher. You go through training, and even when you've, as it were, completed your education, some steps, to build on the experience, to become a very good teacher. And I think the same is applicable to entrepreneurship. Of course, having had formal education, like I said, I've been an employee, you know, so I've had a number of years of learning how to run a business. Okay, and it's from doing. It's not a case of just reading. Yes. So I think it's a must. Okay, you could get it from a variety of sources. It could be, let's say, for somebody who is into just any trade, let's say selling in the market or running a retail operation. Just sitting with the person, understanding what is going on there is important. Okay? You just cannot wake up and say, I want to start a business and just go ahead and start that business. No, it will not work. Okay, and why would it not work? Because you just don't have the skills. You just don't. I mean, something fundamental. I mean, this is a joke I often have with my sister, because my sister runs a shop in the market, in Medina Market. And one of the things we say is, even counting money, you know, somebody comes to your shop, the person is carrying, let's say, 5,000 Ghana cedis. There are people, many people who struggle in counting that 5,000. Yes. And yeah, you are in business to make money, and now somebody presents cash to you, and you struggle to even, you struggle to count the money. So the training is a must. You know, you must find a way of learning. You know, it might not necessarily be in that particular industry, but pick the skills. Pick the skills on how to run a business, and having picked that skills, then you can bring it, you know, to bear on your business. I mean, if you take, I have a friend who is into farming. He started as a poultry farmer, and along the way, when difficulties, you know, came in, he decided to move out of poultry farming and go into livestock, into goats. Okay, it's not going to be just a smooth transition. The fact that you have experience in poultry farming does not mean that you can just switch to a livestock and it will work. No, because it's a different set of skills. Okay, so you need that tutelage, you need that training to be able to pick up that skills, so you can succeed in the industry. So my advice is, whatever sector you want to go in, it's critical. In fact, it's absolutely important that you pick up some learning from, you know, that industry before you venture into it. If you are going to venture into it without, let's say, minimal experience, then start little. You know, start small, and pick up the learnings, you know, step by step. You know, don't jump. You know, you don't jump into the blue ocean if you don't know how to swim. Yes, you probably start from, let's say, a swimming pool. Pick up,
like an inflated swimming pool.
Indeed. Then you can go into the ocean, but you just don't start by, you know, jumping into the ocean. No, it doesn't work.
So because I'm asking about training, and I don't want us to limit it to going into the classroom to probably take a course in entrepreneurship, I would want you to help us answer this, Mr. Nunu. How does mentorship, you know, come in when it comes to preparing yourself to be an entrepreneur? So you don't have any formal education, and we are talking about skills and, you know, having practical ideas about it. How important is mentorship when we talk about entrepreneurship, and how should you actually choose a mentor?
Okay, thank you. I think I would just want to add a point to what my brother said, and that has to do with passion.
Okay.
Even talking about a learning, you must have the passion.
That's true.
If you don't have the passion, forget it. You must have that passion to go with your learning, and that will carry you through your journey. So that's the little point I wanted to add to what my brother said. Now, talking about mentorship, I think it's a very, very crucial element of the journey of an entrepreneur, because at any point in time, we don't stop learning, and people are more ahead of us than we are. As I sit here right now, I have a mentor.
Good.
Sitting in somewhere in Minnesota. And then another one in Canada.
Okay.
The one in Canada, for instance, actually came down as a consultant to work with us, even on our marketing plan.
Okay.
Yes, and it's part of, you know, our way of managing the business by way of working with development partners. And then also this one sitting in Minnesota, almost every 2 weeks, we just do a catch up.
Okay.
and in the conversation, something comes up. What comes up, he might pick it, he might have a bigger experience because he's running General Mills over so many billions of dollars. And the little that he has, he's prepared to share with me. And I've found it very, very, very useful. Sometimes I'm caught up with the decision I need to make. I'm unsure of the decision. I've tried it and then even passed it to Vesta, my wife, but I think that no, she has an emotional element to the whole decision. So, but then with a mentor sitting far away somewhere
neutral.
that I haven't met before, he's that neutral. He'll give you the business perspective of it.
Okay.
So that is the beauty of it.
Okay.
Sometimes you just unwind. As you talk to him, it allows you to take things off your chest because entrepreneurship is a lonely journey.
Yeah.
You can be very lonely. Sometimes you are caught up all by yourself and you have nowhere to turn to. But if you have a mentor, you just offload and then he will listen to you.
Okay.
And sometimes he will not tell you anything, but just by listening, you have somebody who has given you that business listening mind.
Okay.
So mentorship is a very, very critical part of entrepreneurship that, yes, you need somebody to handhold you. It will help you.
Okay.
And learning, we never stop learning.
Okay.
And
Great.
you have the opportunity to learn
So
from them.
before you started talking, you mentioned an important thing, which was passion. The
Yes,
fact that you have to be passionate about whatever entrepreneurial journey you want to start. And so I think it's important that our viewers take note that we do not start entrepreneurship out of hunger. Or should I put it that, I need money to make money, and so you jump into money is the end factor, but there has to be a passion. So we have people that will probably start and never continue because their focus is on the money.
The money. Correct.
Is it that when you start entrepreneurship, automatically, the money will just start flowing? Because that's the idea that most people have.
Indeed. And just to stretch on the point on passion, that is when you are passionate about what you are doing, you don't get tired.
Yeah.
Going to work is not it's not a chore. Okay. You want to be there, because you are excited about what you are doing. And it also rubs on the people you are offering the service to. The people can see that, no, we want to engage. Yes, we want to engage with you. If you are selling a service or a product and you are detached, the other person can tell. Yeah, you can tell that, no, you don't even believe in what you are doing
Exactly.
to begin with. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's key to be passionate about what you are doing. And then, even when you are sleeping, it's still on your mind. And I remember I once worked under a boss who said that he kept a notebook by his bedside. In fact, when he was sharing this story with us, I thought it was a bit extreme. But now that I'm running my own business, I'm beginning to appreciate, the point he made, that he had this notebook by his bed, and in the deep of the night, if an idea drops, he will wake up and just note it. Yes, that is, an element of the passion he has about the business. So it's important. Then to your question on the money, yes, you are in business to make money. It doesn't come easy. Yes, it doesn't come easy at all. I'm laughing, but yes. And you should be prepared to stay for the long haul.
Okay.
For that to happen. If you go into it thinking that you will turn the corner, in a short while, you might not be that fortunate. Yes, some persons are fortunate. If you think of the COVID pandemic we had, for instance, assuming you started a business around that time, and that is what hits you, are you going to say that over with the business? No. You should be prepared to stay the long haul to turn the curve, and you may be lucky. For our business, for instance, we were really, really, by the grace of God, when we started, say 4-5 months down the line, we got an opportunity, which gave us some substantial amount of money, to enable us run the long haul. And you know, I always say that we are grateful to God that that opportunity came at that time. But the point is, be prepared to stay the long haul, okay? And the long haul pays off.
Yeah.
It pays off, you know, because for many businesses, you see, at a certain critical point, if you take, for instance, you are in a business that thrives on referral. Okay. If you have one satisfied client, okay, then yes, the client's network potentially becomes your customers as well. So assuming that you continue and you have 2, 4, 5, 10 satisfied clients, so their network, you know, so by staying the long haul, you build that network, and you know that ripple effect translates, you know, to the benefit of the business. You know? So it's key that you have that at the back of your mind. That yes, let me get to this point. It might take me months, it might take me years, but I'm prepared to stay that long haul, you know, for that to happen, and it will pay off. Yeah, it will pay off. Just stay focused. Don't be rigid. Also, you know, tweak it as the market demands. I mean, the example I gave of COVID, for instance, we had to work from home. We had to change. I mean, we didn't have the opportunity to be meeting clients. So if you find yourself in that situation, assuming you were running a business that required that you had to meet clients all the time, and now that opportunity is no longer there, are you going to say that because that opportunity is gone, you don't have a business? You have to find a way around it. In our case, during the COVID, you know, we did something that many businesses didn't do. And some of the things we did was businesses scaled down, and we told ourselves that we will not do this. Okay. We will rather invest and take businesses from the other businesses that were scaling down. Okay. Yes. Wow. So we put in, yes, we engage more people, whereas others are still down. We push in a bit more money, okay, and it's paid off for us.
Great, yes. Very good. So I'm sure a viewer might be saying, I have a business idea, and we've gone on, you know, elaborating on the various businesses. What should they, or what should come to mind when you want to start a business beyond the idea, in terms of monetary, for example? Is it that easy to get funds to start a business? What would you say someone who is just starting and has no money? Are you able to start a business with no money?
That's an interesting question. I would say yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because if you have a very good idea, somebody might want to risk with you.
Good.
And if the cash flows are such that, yes, it's realizable and the risk is so low, then the person might want to consider that. And if he's able to get his money back quickly, fine. But beyond that, you wouldn't easily get people wanting to invest, especially in our setting with all the unfaithfulness. One minister said, it's not unemployment that we have, it's unfaithfulness that we have in this country. And you know, you give money to somebody and the next moment is a bad story. So we have something we call social capital.
Okay.
You yourself must have something. You must have some capital. Sometimes it's not just money, but it's the way you have handled yourself with people.
Okay.
Even, and I'll tell you, I mean, today I'm going to say something. Right here in this church, people have invested in our business. And how do they come to invest in our business? It's out of relationship. We never approach them even. We never approach them to come on board.
Yeah.
But because they know you, because they know what you can do, because they have trust in you, that is your social capital. So it's something that is very crucial that, yes, I would want to urge, especially our up-and-coming young people. Even some of us who are serving in these churches. You know, people look at us, they see us, they see what is going on, and they look at you and they say that, no, I can invest in this person. So it's not just, you know, money that starts a business. But because I remember one of them, he came to visit me in Nigeria, and I was working, and he said, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm saying, "I'm putting together my business plan or my ideas for this thing." He just said, "Kojo, whatever you want to do, I'll come along with you."
Trust.
Just like that.
Yeah.
It's because I'd worked with him
Okay.
over here, and I'd related with him and all of those things. And out of that, he was prepared to invest. But if you have your own money, in fact, if you want to do something, your skin must be in the game.
Okay.
So your little savings, if it's 100 cedis you want to invest, and even you have 10 cedis, it's something to start with. It shows your commitment, your personal commitment. And then beyond that, you have your friends, like I've just mentioned, friends who have, who would come in, or you can approach them, and then they would assist you in that if they believe in you.
Okay.
If they believe that, one, your idea is good, two, you have credibility, two, you have what it takes to be able to deliver the value, then they would want to come on board with you. The other one is your family. Your family in the form of your mom, your dad, your uncle, your cousin, your brother. You can bring them on board. And another one is share. Introduce you to a friend.
Yeah, so partnership.
Look, I have this idea. What do you think? Can you come on board? And if both of you are faithful, and you can put your resources together to start a business. So there are so many ways you can do. The banks, I wouldn't advise if you are starting a business, because they look out for something, cash flow.
Yeah.
At that time, you don't have cash flow. So what are you going to really sell to them? And even when you have started at a point, they are not your best option.
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling their business.
No, I know.
They are not your best option because the kind of charges, especially in our environment, it might really cost you big time in your business and add to your worries. If you go to sleep, you sleep. Because when it's time to pay your interest, you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
The people who came being friends with you this time around, they are
Yeah.
So I would advise that, yes, you do the banks from the beginning. Let the business grow. When it's good and then you have enough cash flows, they themselves, they will offer you.
They'll come chasing you.
Yes, they'll come chasing you.
Our conversation is getting so interesting here, and I believe you are learning one thing or two. But we need to go on a very short break, and we'll be back soon. Remember that we are still live on Facebook and YouTube, and we look forward to reading your comments, your suggestions, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
With the growing challenges of life in light of both global and domestic development, the Christian is faced with the difficult task of balancing survival within a secular system and at the same time living a Christian life that pleases their Maker. It is for this reason that we need to have frank conversations on the many issues of life through the Christian lens. So, we bring to you Let's Talk About. On Let's Talk About, we talk about health, career, dating, marriage, family, divorce, politics, finance, and all the issues of life that the Christian is confronted with on a daily basis. Join us this and every Wednesday on the YouTube and Facebook pages of Trinity United Church Legon, and let's talk about life as Christians.
This is GKV Foods, a community-based zero-waste agro-processing company focused on the coconut value chain. It came about as a result of the health condition of the owner. So I was diagnosed with diabetes, and a friend introduced me to coconut oil as a food supplement to help stabilize my sugars. So after a couple of months taking the oil, I realized that yes, there was a significant change in my sugars, which caused me to look more into the coconut oil as a food supplement. Our product is basically the coconut oil and then coconut powder, coconut shell charcoal. We are looking into other new products, including coconut snacks. Basically, we use the cold press methodology. So at no point do we add heat or any additive for that matter. So it's just pure coconut oil squeezed out of the coconut meat. We currently can do about 25,000 nuts a day. So 30,000 liters of coconut oil in a month.
Inferior LED lights may tire your eyes over time. Change to Philips LED lights, which give comfort to your eyes. Gentle on your eyes, brighter for your home. Philips LED lights. Innovation and you. Philips. Inferior LED lights may tire your eyes over time. Change to Philips LED lights, which give comfort to your eyes. Gentle on your eyes, brighter for your home. Philips LED lights. Innovation and you. Philips.
Trinity. It is yet another time for our annual Trinity United Church Yaf Bazaar.
Date: Sunday, 3rd December 2023. Time: right after the joint service till you drop. There'll be lots of food and drinks.
Come and shop for your office wear, church attires, shoes, home appliances, and many more for this Xmas. Wedie Yamifie into Yedibona Mouth Falakra.
You can't miss this for any other thing. Please don't forget, this is for charity, and that's the essence of Christmas. Don't be left out on this year's bazaar.
See you there.
Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk About. And tonight we are joined by the CEO of GKV Foods, producers of Ava coconut oil and other coconut produce, and Mr. Darko, who is the CEO of Electro Darko House. And before we went on the break, they were sharing so many, nuggets that has to do with their journey as entrepreneurs. And so we are still looking forward to reading your questions, your comments, and suggestions. We are still live on YouTube and Facebook. So before we went on the break, we were talking about how to finance our businesses, whether it was so easy. And we mentioned social capital and, apart from you having some money to invest, the need for you to actually also capitalize on the social networks that you have. Is there anything that you want to add, Mr. Darko?
What I would like to add on the social capital is it goes beyond using your social network to raise funds for your business. Okay, the point is your first customers are likely to be people within your network.
Okay.
So if the image your network has of you as somebody who will shortchange them, somebody who is not true to his or her word, okay, then you don't have clients to begin with.
That's true.
In our business, I must say that many of the major things we've done, have come from people who know us, okay, and they know us outside of our business. They know that there's these people we can trust what they say, we can count on them.
Yeah.
So if there's an opportunity for them to extend it to us, they know that yes, what they are saying is indeed what it is. And to the young people out there, your social network is built over many years.
Yeah.
Okay, so just be mindful of that and ensure that in everything you do, just do it properly, do it right. Okay, you will reap the benefits in many ways that will marvel you.
That's true.
Okay, many of the places we go to look for business, you meet somebody. Yesterday, for instance, we were at a client site. And the client had traveled, so we met the wife and other persons in the built environment at the client site. And the wife was looking at me. I didn't know why. Then later on, she said, I know you. Were you at Legon? I said, yes, I was at Legon. He said, yes, it's Legon. We met. And the friend of the client also came to me and said, oh, my client has spoke really highly of you.
Okay.
You know, so I'm happy that we are finally meeting. So the business is already is for us.
That's
okay.
True.
You know, so be upright. You know, just be upright, and the benefits are manifold.
That's good.
Yes,
That's good.
they are manifold.
Mr. Nunu, so we've been talking about product, but I'm very sure that we have a number of people who do not necessarily want to do buy and sell or produce and sell, but they are talented, or there's something that they have studied and they are very good at, and they want to, you know, turn that into some business of some sort. For such people, would you say that they really do not need financial, you know, a lot of that to start? How do they start?
Okay, so again, it's the idea.
Okay.
You must find an idea. You must find a solution to a problem. So if you know that, yes, you have a skill or you have a particular competencies, you have to do some scanning and see what use I can put my skill or competence to, and see if people really need it.
Okay.
I'll take the example of tax, for instance. These days, that yes, the finance minister is wild on tax. You know, we all have to sit up with our taxes.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
And so we need the services of tax people who are not just book knowledge, but have, you know, the practical understanding of tax, for instance, that we can easily, consult.
Okay.
So you, as a person who has that competence, you don't necessarily need a big office, or you can start from your living room.
Yes.
And all you might need is a laptop.
Yeah.
And like we were saying earlier, social capital. You could start by offering your service to GKV Foods.
Yes.
That, look, we'll do your taxes for free. You know, and if you do it and I see that, look, I'm having that peace of mind, I'll say, oh, I wouldn't watch you go free like that. Definitely, you've given me value. So I would do what? In turn, reward you for it. And once the work is good, and the next time Electrodaco needs, they say, oh, Kojo, I need somebody to sort out my taxes. Oh, the last time it was this gentleman who did it for me, you know, and then it goes on and on and on. So you don't necessarily need that big money to start off such ventures. It's also like grants management. Grants management, because there's a lot of development activities going on in the country, and because of that, development partners are pumping in money. Now they need people to manage these grants for them.
Okay.
If you have those competencies and whatnot, you can offer your services, but you must be sure that yes, you have what it takes to deliver on the service when it's offered to you.
Okay.
And there's one particular thing about service.
Okay.
Service is intangible. And so the way you deliver it, it's not a product that is on the shelf that the person will go and then take it. The person must encounter you.
Yeah, he must feel.
Must feel you. So the kind of skill set includes critically customer care.
Okay.
You need to be very careful how you handle your customers, so that you become a delight to them, and they would want to come to you. Sometimes you go beyond even the product that you are offering. You must offer other services in addition, and that will delight them, for them to want to say that, oh, I'm coming to Ajwa because when I go to Ajwa Saloon, I get this in addition.
I think you just gave me a business idea. Okay, so I'm very keen on mentorship.
Right.
Especially now that we are, you know, our access to the internet, now we talk of AI, we have Google, so everything you want, you can just ask the machine and they just give you an answer. Yes. So I want us to throw more light on really the importance of having a mentor, somebody that is physically there and can help you. So people do not think that they can just go and ask Google, I want to start a coconut plantation or whatever. What do I need? And they will give you answers.
Yep.
They will just give you about 10 of them. AI is so fast. It will just give you so many of them. Why is it really, really important, despite all our access to information that we need, to get somebody that we will call maybe a role model we look up to or a mentor, especially in the line of business that we want to venture into if we are lucky to have one?
But the thing is, you can't have it any better than somebody who has experienced it before. So if you have a mentor, the person has gone through the mill, has had that experience. So you could go to the person and have that exchange, that this is a challenge I'm having. It will not be the same as, let's say, going to Google or AI. And it's something that I do personally, because I have a network of friends who are more experienced than myself in the business world. So if we have one challenge or the other, I go to them. Yes, this is a challenge we are facing. I remember a couple of years back, I used to work in Nigeria. Okay, and one of the challenges we had back then was the distributors we had were basically undercutting. So you give them an item for, let's say, 10 cedis, and you would expect that yes, the trader will add a markup and sell, let's say, for 11 cedis, and now they were selling at 9 cedis. So it didn't make sense, causing a lot of issues in the market. And I went to one of my mentors and said, this is a challenge we have in the market. Thankfully for me, they've had that experience before. So he shared with me how they went about addressing that problem, and we implemented it, and yes, it worked. So there's so much to gain, to benefit from having a mentor. So it's something that we need to explore, and there's no better value, than having somebody that you could go to, somebody who has had that experience, the challenge you are going through. I mean, Kwadwo mentioned that sometimes we also get emotional about the things we are running, and with a mentor, he can detach him or herself from that emotion and tell you, objectively, that this challenge you have, this is the way to go about it. And with somebody giving you that support, it makes it easier for you to go out there and make it happen. So let's explore it. One of the things that I also do is also to read about people's autobiographies. So what is it? Other entrepreneurs, other people who have run big businesses. How did they start? What are the challenges that they went through? And I've read tons of it. And it's really helped in the business we run. Of course, we are mindful that knowledge doesn't end. So we need to constantly upgrade ourselves, constantly pick what are the new things in the business, to bring it to bear to our business.
Mr. Nunu. Yes. We've just talked about mentorship so beautifully, but in our part of the world, people are always saying that it's very hard for people to open up and have people. So we are talking about mentees and mentorship. Is it easy to just walk to somebody that you think has done it well, you want to emulate and you want to learn from the person? Because some people are a bit closed, whether it's out of, so I'm into the production of Gary to export, and a young man wants to learn from me. I've seen that we take a lot of brands here that are exporting, and you see a young entrepreneur starting off, and he just wants, to talk to you, to be able to understand the process. And sometimes the people we are looking up to mentor us are closed. They are not willing to, pass on information. I'm not sure about the other part of the world, but I know it's a very typical thing here. And so people tend to also quell up and would rather go through the whole journey and make all the mistakes that is avoidable. What do you say about this? Is this something that when you were trying to find a mentor, was it easy? Is it something you've heard about, the story of people trying to approach others and they getting a rejection?
I see where you are coming from because, yes, like you said, our society is a bit closed when it comes to these things. I don't want to talk to anybody about my business because my business is for me.
Yeah.
We are the type we don't share, especially when it comes to business. It's us. We live it, we die, and then we leave it, and it ends the business. So that problem is likely to arise. However, I think also the society is changing. We are becoming more open-minded over the period. You know, people are more willing now to talk about their business.
Okay.
The other thing too is that there are some structured programs that are going on with some of these development partners because they've realized that, yes, mentoring is a very key part of it.
Yeah.
I belong to the Association of Ghana Industries, for instance, and in conjunction with MasterCard, they have a mentorship program that we also mentor up and coming
That's good.
entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And so, yes, that mentality is gradually beginning to change.
Okay.
So, yes, it existed, but now I see that from the little that I have scanned on the landscape, I see that, yes, it's changing.
Okay.
So we are hopeful that, yes, more people will be open. I mean, those of us relatively who have, gone ahead of our brothers and sisters should be more open to talk about their business with people, and even allow them to come in where they have to come and take up internship and whatnot. Allow them so that they can handhold them and the like.
Okay.
We're happy to do that.
Okay. So we have a first question here from Daniel. Daniel wants to know, how do you resolve uncertain mind in struggling business? I don't know if it's clear. So there's
uncertain mind in struggling
business. That's a very...
Yes, it's an open one, but let me attempt to... So, yes, I have a struggling business, and how do you resolve it? Your business is aimed at either offering a product or a service to clients. Yeah. Okay, so the question is, am I offering the right product or am I offering the right service? I mean, these are questions you need to ask. Are my clients happy with what we are offering? Am I being too generalistic? And that is something that comes up quite often. In our business, for instance, we are very clear in our mind that, yes, even though we are an electrical business, we can't serve everybody. Our offering will just not be procured by everybody. So who are our core? And it's important to understand that who is the core, so that we can focus on the core. So we spend 90% plus of our resources on the core, you see. And our core clientele is also tied into our offering. So assuming, what example can I give? Say, let's say I'm selling kinky. Okay. And it's not everybody who would enjoy that kinky, but who are the core people who, yes, then that becomes a focus. So this may be some of the questions that our friend, needs to ask himself. That, yes, are we focused on the people who need our service? And is our service or the product meeting the expectations of that group? Okay. Then you also need to look at your business and its, entirety. That, yes, I have a service or a product which is meeting my target. But do I have the processes also in place to ensure that, yes, at the end of the day, I'm making money out of this? It's something that many of us don't do. I once had an experience with a classmate of mine, a German classmate, and we considered going into cocoa farming. Okay. And this was in 2009. So this friend of mine traveled from Germany, came to Ghana, and we did a spreadsheet, and a really detailed spreadsheet. We made travels to the Wassa, Western region, Wassa, Kropon, met chiefs, and went to cocoa board, met, the technocrats at the cocoa board. But we didn't bring this business to fruition. The reason is, putting all the numbers together, we realized that no, and I knew this, it was my friend who it was a shock to, that after production, we couldn't sell our cocoa beans in the international market. He thought that
you could
and I said, no, in Ghana it's controlled. And the controlled means that yes, government buys at a certain price, different from the international market price, and realize that no, this will not work, you know. So the point I'm making is, you also need to look at the fine details of what you are running, you know. Is everything, you know, being done properly? Am I accounting for everything correctly? And if not, I mean, you need to be blunt and sometimes very tough on yourself, and just say that, no, this, it will work or it will not work, or I need to make these changes or the other changes. And let me also add that when we started our business, for instance, we didn't have a vehicle we had one vehicle just to take us from the business to meet clients. And if we had an opportunity to make supplies, we brought in third parties, the Abosokai, Machos, to do supplies. And some of our employees, you know, struggled with that your competitors had their own delivery vans, why not invest in this? And I said, no, we are not at that point yet. When we get to that point, yes, we'll do that. So it was a decision, a conscious decision we made, that the stage in which we were in the business, it was most suitable for us to use the Abosokai Machos to do this bit of the business. And at the right time, yes, we can. And those are some of the things that we need to ask and be really tough about it. And make the decisions which would ensure that, yes, you have a turnaround in your business.
Yeah, I think we have a comment from Dr. Bridget Gogodako. Very informative. God bless you for sharing. Back to what you were saying, I think there's more to say with that. You know, when you made the example about the van, it just occurred to me that most people want to start businesses and just do it, boom. So they want to start a business and they already want to rent or lease a property in East Legon because that's where everybody is doing probably fashion homes and all the salons are appearing there now. So that's where they want to. So they want to be paying in dollars and get a store. They want a branded vehicle. They want to print, you know, do all the marketing things at expensive rates because they just want to be up there. What do you tell young entrepreneurs who are coming up about how to actually start, the idea of starting small and growing the business and not just starting today and saying, I want to even start opening branches. People actually do that. They will start and then they opened one in East Legon, and just because they made some, you know, 1,000, 2,000 Ghana cedis in some week and they saw some corner in Osu, they said, oh, you're expanding. Mm-hmm. How should the business grow? Should we allow it to grow, take a natural course, or we should just, you know, work by faith and just push it out there?
So, as a businessman, you must be shrewd. At all times, you must be shrewd. So, you just don't take decisions. The term is, you don't take emotional decisions. You take business decisions.
Good.
So, at any point in time, you must check your emotion against the decision. Am I taking it because out of emotion? Because it will make me look big and all of those things. No. It should be a business decision.
It should be a business decision.
The other saying we have is think big, start small.
Good. Think big,
yes, start small. So yes, have a big vision, but start small. Start small as in, look, give yourself time to grow. There are certain businesses when you start, you don't immediately realize anything. You must even know the horizon within which you are expected to be making returns.
Yeah.
And so you shouldn't just wake up and think that, yes, it's going to happen overnight. No, it doesn't happen like that. When you do that, what happens is that you actually kill the business. Because what you do is that you create a very big overhead. Okay? That the service or the product you're selling or turning around has to be so high before you can cover your cost of operations. That is when you've opened a branch here, you've done this, you're running this, you're running that, and all of that. It's all part of the operations. And if you are measuring your cost, you see that the money that is coming in is not enough to cover that cost.
Yeah.
And that is losses.
That's
Whose
true.
money is that?
Yours, gone down the drain.
And the people who have supported you.
That's true. Very true.
So you need to, yes, think big, but start
Start
small.
small.
And be shrewd at
Yeah.
all times in your
And think
decisions.
business and not emotions.
Don't get emotional.
Okay,
with
so
your decisions.
we have a comment here from Steve Doche. He says, this is free Harvard business lessons. And I agree. It's a full MBA. Thank you very much. So a very important question I must ask before we leave here. You mentioned in the beginning that entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey.
It is.
And so, as Christians, I'd want you to tell us how it has been. Has entrepreneurship actually tested your faith? Has there been situations where you were like, God, are you there? Or if it wasn't God, like how people say it, you know, like, you know, have you had those kinds of moments in your business? Let's start with Mr. Dako. I think
No, it's an everyday challenge. It's
you.
an everyday challenge. When we started late 2017.
Okay.
And quite a number of our items are imported, you know. And I remember when we got our first duty bill, our agent, you know, didn't understand why we wanted to pay that amount of money. It was really substantial. I remember I went to the EcoBank branch at Osu to make that payment, and you know, people were staring at me, you know, coming there to make such a payment. And our agent told me that even the officers at the ports, you know, didn't understand why these guys were doing what they were doing, you know. But I've forgotten when, but along the line, the government introduced a policy of the benchmark rate, you know, and the benchmark duty rate meant that your duties were halved. Okay. So overnight, our duties were halved. Okay, so for us, it was a big plus. I mean, just, you know. And we also had stories of other businesses that didn't have that, that windfall, you know, gain, because they had compromised on their invoices. So when the benchmark rates came in, their duties were still up there, you know. So the point I'm making is, it is difficult, you know. It is difficult. You are challenged all the time. But if you stay true, if you do the right thing, at the end of the day, you'll be smiling, you know. So let's just stay true to the faith, you know, and do the right thing. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy at all, but it's been beneficial by staying true to the faith.
Okay. Mr. Nunu, do you have any such stories to share with us? How has entrepreneurship tested your faith?
Should I say...
And how does your belief in God actually help? You know?
Yes, for me, it's been a revelation.
Okay.
And it will interest you to know that, yes. I mean, it's been a revelation. What do I mean by it's been a revelation? You know, at one time, I was in Takoradi. I'd just gotten up from bed. And then this voice comes to me. Say, you've been praying, you know, asking God for tangible miracles. I say, yes. You know, it was a conversation that was going on. And then I said, yes. And then he said, okay, look back. The 7 years that you've been in business. Look back. I said, what about it? He said, then certain milestones began to pop up. At this point, when you needed this thing came. When you needed that came. When you needed this came. You know, it was a litany of one miracle, tangible miracle after the other. And I look back and I say, wow, is that what has been going on?
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I was totally taken aback. And then, for me, that deepened my faith.
Okay.
You know, that really, so what I said was, wow, is that what you've been doing all this time in my life? That was the question I asked myself. And then it meant, as I made that statement, because of that, I'll worship you better.
Amen. Yes.
You know, for me, that was the conclusion. And then it took my faith to another level, that in all circumstances, God provides.
He does provide. Yeah.
Right from the beginning of time, God has provided for his people. He provided Jesus even before the creation of the world. And he has never stopped providing. You know, at any point in time, I think is it in Romans? He talks about the fact that he provided his son, you know, to take up our place, to die for us. So at any point in time, God provides. And we as Christians, especially those of us in business, we should learn to trust him, that he will provide. And since then, honestly, my stress levels has come down.
Amen.
So yes, my faith has increased as a result of the business. I mean, he's used it to reveal himself to me in a very special way.
That's good.
And I'm grateful for that.
Amen. So we are coming to the end of this discussion. I mean, I'm not happy about that, but we have to go. So I'd like to take your closing remarks about business in general. What would you tell? So this time I want you to speak directly to our viewers. What would be your advice to any young person out there, not young in age per se, but young in the journey of being an entrepreneur
business.
or in business? What would you tell them? What are your closing remarks?
No, it's been fun. Yes, it's been challenging but fun. What I would like to leave with anybody listening to us is set yourself really bold vision, you know, a really ambitious ambition. The world is a global village, and when we say the world is a global village, we should not limit ourselves to running a business just in Ghana. You know, I mean, if we look around us, we are consuming items from all over the place, you know. So why can't we also have items, you know, to be consumed outside the shores of our country, you know? And setting a bold vision also means that you need to put it in writing. You know, it's important if you go through that rigor and put it in writing, have a solid business plan with that bold vision, then you can drive it through. You know, many years back when we were in school, we were told of subsistence agriculture. And oftentimes we are told that subsistence agriculture is just to cater for the farmer and the immediate family. You know, we shouldn't go into subsistence entrepreneurship. We should go into really big entrepreneurship. Yes. You know, so give yourself a really bold vision, put it in writing, and go for it. With the grace of God, you will get there.
Thank you. What about you, Mr. Nunu?
I think my brother has said it all. So what I would add is, yes, try and then learn about what you want to. Don't just wake up one morning and say that, yes, I want to do this. Try and gather as much information to inform the decision. And as you do that, commit your ways or commit your plans to the Lord, and he shall establish them. Thank you.
Very good, very good. If you've ever given a thought on starting a business but found it overwhelming, I hope that this edition has simplified things for you. I'm so happy that we got to be joined by Mr. Felix Darko and Mr. Kojo Nunu on Let's Talk About. Let's Talk About is a production of Trinity United Church, East Legon. Join us for worship this Sunday and every other Sunday at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. respectively. My name is Edinam Ejeisika. I was your host. See you same time next week. Have a good evening.
With the growing challenges of life in light of both global and domestic development, the Christian is faced with the difficult task of balancing survival within a secular system and at the same time living a Christian life that pleases their Maker. It is for this reason that we need to have frank conversations on the many issues of life through the Christian lens. So, we bring to you Let's Talk About. On Let's Talk About, we talk about health, career, dating, marriage, family, divorce, politics, finance, and all the issues of life that the Christian is confronted with on a daily basis. Join us this and every Wednesday on the YouTube and Facebook pages of Trinity United Church Legon, and let's talk about life as Christians.
This is GKV Foods, a community-based zero-waste agro-processing company focused on the coconut value chain. It came about as a result of the health condition of the owner. So I was diagnosed with diabetes, and a friend introduced me to coconut oil as a food supplement to help stabilize my sugars. So after a couple of months taking the oil, I realized that yes, there was a significant change in my sugars, which caused me to look more into the coconut oil as a food supplement. Our product is basically the coconut oil and then coconut powder, coconut shell charcoal. We are looking into other new products, including coconut snacks. Basically, we use the cold press methodology. So at no point do we add heat or any additive for that matter. So it's just pure coconut oil squeezed out of the coconut meat. We currently can do about 25,000 nuts a day. So 30,000 liters of coconut oil in a month.
Inferior LED lights may tire your eyes over time. Change to Philips LED lights, which give comfort to your eyes. Gentle on your eyes, brighter for your home. Philips LED lights. Innovation and you. Philips.
Family, friends, colleagues, loved ones, young and old, Enuanomne Adolfo nyina, Trinity. It is yet another time for our annual Trinity United Church Yaf Bazaar.
Date, Sunday 3rd December 2023. Time, right after the joint service till you drop. There'll be lots of food and drinks.
Come and shop for your office wear, church attires, shoes, home appliances, and many more for this Xmas. Wedie, Yamifie, into the Bona Mouth, Falakra.
You can't miss this for any other thing. Please don't forget, this is for charity, and that's the essence of Christmas. Don't be left out on this year's bazaar.
See you there.